All right, so this is part one of PR Basics. So we start in Premiere Pro, and we want to click on New Project. Remember, you're going to do a little, well, watch a little, do a little, watch a little, do a little, right? Try that again. Okay, and we get this window here for the new project. So I want to call this particular one PR Basics. And I want to browse, click browse on the second line here, to my documents and to my PR Basics folder. Okay, click choose, and then click OK. Hang on. You'll click OK and won't get that. Let me just change this a little bit. Okay. All right. And there it is. Here is Premiere Pro, but without a timeline, without a sequence. So now we're going to make a sequence. So we're going to go up here to File, New, Sequence. You see that? File, New, Sequence. We're going to, if it's not already there, we're going to go to this ARRI and twirl that open. Okay, and then we're going to click here on the 1080 and twirl that open. And we're going to go down here and click this guy. Right here, this last one. ARRI 1080p, 30 frames per second. Down here, we're going to name our sequence PrBasis1. Okay, PrBasis1, and click OK. All right, so now we're ready to import our video clips that we have in our PrBasic folder. So I'm going to go File, Import. I'm going to browse to my Documents folder, my PrBasics folder, and I'm going to hold down the Command key and click on my video clips, okay, that I want to bring in. Make sure you do not click on the PrProj file or the PrProj folder, okay? Don't click on, or just make sure it's just the video clips that you're clicking on. And then you can let go of the Command key and click Import. And those will be down here. Let me go ahead and click on the editing workspace so that we see a bigger area here. All right, so now one of the main things you do with video editing is you trim your video clips. So I've got all these videos. Let's start with this rainy day one. And I've got the scrubber here, the playhead, the blue marker. I've got 3 different names for it, don't I? And I can scrub it back and forth and kind of look at it. Over here on the left side, it shows the time and frames of where the marker's at. And over here, it shows you how long the clip is. So this clip is 15 seconds and 13 frames long. So for this assignment, if you look down at the storyboard, we only want 4 seconds or less for each of the 3 clips we're going to put in the timeline. So I'm going to move the playhead to where I think the most interesting part of the video is. Let's say I decide it's there. And I'm going to come to this guy right here where it says Mark In, and I'm going to click that. So now I've selected from the playhead all the way to the end. The grayed area is now what's been selected. But of course, that's 12 seconds long, and I don't want that much. I only want 4 seconds or less. I'm at 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds right about here, right? So I'm going to move the playhead to about 5.5 or 6. And there's 5 seconds, and then we go into the frames. There's right about there is about. That's enough. That's about 3 seconds. So I'm going to click the out. This guy right here, next to the in, is the out. So now I've selected from this point to that point. So now I can click here somewhere in the frame, click, hold, and drag it down to video 1 all the way to the left, and I'm going to click keep existing settings. All right, so there we go. Now I need to get another one, so I'm going to double click, let's say on the jets, fighters flyby. And now that was going to be more than 4 seconds for the interesting part. Unless, let's say I just start with the first jet peeling off, so right about there. Put my mark my in there. And then see that guy take off, that guy take off, and then it disappears. So it'll stop right about there. So I know it's more than it's more than 3 seconds, but that's okay because it's got a lot of interesting things going on in this one. So I'm gonna, once I mark my out there, clicking this, right? Now I'm gonna click and hold and drag down, and I'm gonna move that right up to the end of the first clip. It's gonna magnetically snap into place. And you'll see that black line pop up. You see that? Let me try to show you again. I'm gonna bring it in here, right? So I'm gonna come on down, bring it in here, and I'm gonna move until we see that black line and let go. All right. And then one last one, double click the Hollywood sign. Right about here looks good. Mark my in, 2 seconds. I want to go to about 5 seconds, 6 seconds, right about there. Mark my out, and click, hold, and drag that down. There we go. Also, these are small clips. Over here you can see the video is, although it has 4 minutes and 15 seconds of space here, my video is only going to be about less than 30 seconds. So I might as well get the 1 minute mark slid over to this side by zooming into the timeline. And this bar down here allows me to zoom in. So if I go down to this right circle and I drag to the left, right about to the point where I get approximately 1 minute of time towards the end of the timeline here, the ruler over here. These make the clips more larger and more manageable. In case I have to move them around or do something, it's easier to click on them. All right, so that concludes part 1. Once you're at this point, and then of course Command S to save it, and go ahead now and switch over to the part 2 video for this. Okay, good job.